Hello. Is the microphone working? Can you hear me? Oh, it's audience participation, guys. Can you hear me? Is the microphone working? Excellent, thank you. I'm Lou. I am a GP at Forge Health Group. Big up the Forge and Flowers posse. I want to thank you all for coming today, first and foremost, especially after the morning that I know you've all had. I know it's been hideous, and I'm really grateful that you all still decided to come. It's brilliant. This PLI has been a couple of years in the making, just trying to convince the powers that be that it's a really important topic, but mostly that you are the people that we need to be doing this with, that you are the most important group to learn about how to be more trauma-informed with the patients. Because for me, and I think probably for Ben and for lots of us kind of as GPs, you're the beating heart of general practice. You're the first person that our patients see when they speak, when they ring up or when they come through the door. You're the meeting and the greeting, you're all of that. And if we can get that right, then we can start to get the rest of it right and, do better in terms of being trauma-informed. So that's really where this came from, that we focus so much on training the doctors and the nurses, and we've neglected, in my opinion, to kind of push that training out to the rest of our staff and particularly to you guys. So I'm really, really excited that this is happening today, and I'm really glad that you're all here. I'd like to thank the PCS and particularly Gary for helping us pull all this together, and to the sponsor Lily for giving us a bit of support. I'm going to hand over now to the Project 6 team, who are going to take over the afternoon for us, to Dee. And please be as engaged and involved in this as you can, because you'll get much more back the more you kind of get involved. And there is feedback at the end. If you've enjoyed it, if it's been useful, if you would like more, we really need that feedback telling us that, because that's what we're going to use to ask for more training for you. So tell us what you want, tell us the topics, tell us what worked, what didn't work, because we can use that to kind of put those requests in, like I say, a bit higher up the food chain at the ICB and try and make this maybe a more regular thing, but certainly something that we can have a plan for so that it's not just a one-off. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dee. Thank you. Hi everybody, my name's Dee Collins and I work at Project 6. I work there as a lived experience trainer. So my experience actually comes from going through some difficult times in my 20s, late teens, 20s, with mental health and substance abuse. And through that, I actually used a lot of services. So I accessed a lot of services over about a 9-year period. So my experience kind of comes from dealing with people from the other side. So talking to receptionists, talking to GPs, talking to other places that I engaged with and gave me treatment. And through that, I ended up volunteering with people in the community. So other people with problems with addictions and mental health. I ended up as a group facilitator, and then I started working at Project 6. And Project 6 have been wonderful for me. They gave me loads of training, and I learned so much about the area through them. So that's a little bit about my background, and it's really nice to be here and see so many people here. We normally do much smaller groups. So So it's really exciting to see so many people in the room. I'm going to hand you over to my co-facilitator, Nicola. She's going to introduce herself and then just give you some details about today.
Hi, my name's Nicola. I work for Project 6. I've been there just coming up for a year. And my introduction to trauma came at an early life. I lost my mum when I was young. And I've managed my mental health throughout those years. And I've not entered as many services as Dee, but it's not a competition, is it? But I've received some really helpful support from the services that I have entered, and I've done a lot of work on myself. And when I first co-facilitated with Dee on this course and just read the slides, it really was another learning point for me about how much trauma has affected the way that I have lived my life. So it's just really interesting every time I watch it, listen to Dee, just read the slides and sort of take on another layer. It really helps me understand both myself and the people that I encounter and try to wear my more compassionate head more often. So that's a little bit about me. We have got some other colleagues in the room, and they'll be helping us throughout the day. Am I at the right distance from my mic for you all to hear? Yeah, good, thank you. Because I don't want. And this is we've got Julie, Rose, and Lisa and Scott at the back. So if you need any help, then they're around. Shall I just do the fire instructions and everything? So we've got some fire instructions, and I will just read those out because they're not ours. They're Sheffield Wednesday ground. So there's no planned fire alarm today. So if the fire alarm goes, it's a continuous ringing alarm. We evacuate as soon as possible. Don't stop to go out of your way to collect anything, so just whatever you've got in your hands, take it with you. Follow the evacuation arrows to the nearest safe emergency exit, and my understanding is the stairs are that way, and it looks like there's some there. Do not use the lifts. As you leave the building, proceed to one of the designated fire assembly points located at the far end of the south stand car park or the end of the pedestrian bridge. Now, I know I came across the pedestrian bridge, so I know that way, and I'm assuming the other way is the other. But if you come out of this main entrance of this building and go across the bridge, it's there. And remain at the assembly point until given further instructions, and do not re-enter the building, which is the normal rule. So. Oh, okay, is that better? Nobody usually complains about my voice, actually, but I should have toned it down. Back to the ground rules of today. So the way we like to, we just have a few ground rules. It saves going around the room, and but if there's anything that anybody wants to add, do tell us. Obviously, this is a trauma-informed practice session, and understanding traumas. Sometimes, quite often in the workshops that we run, we always mention that if you're triggered by anything, feel free to stop, do whatever you need to do. You can, leave the room, hopefully come back. Do what you need to do to manage yourself. Allow everyone who wants to contribute. So if you, we've got various formats. So we are doing something called Slido, which you get a QR code. And if you've got anything that you want to ask, pop it on your phone on the Slido. And there's always post-it notes that'll be knocking about. Please write it down. By all means, challenge, but do so constructively and respectfully. There's no stupid questions and there's no wrong answers. So if there's something that you don't understand or that you're not, you need a bit more information on, do ask. We will try and pick things up as we, if there's anything sort of pertinent, we'll pick it up as we go along. Oh, all right. And otherwise, again, write it on a post-it note or pop it on Slido, and we'll pick it up at I'm echoing now. We'll pick it up at half time. And for the purpose of this course, we'll be using he, she, his, her pronouns, but this is not intended to exclude anyone from any of the discussions. As I said before, we normally work in smaller groups, so we'll see how things go, and if we need to change anything that we're doing, we'll adapt as we go along. Is that all right, Dee? Yeah. Oh, before I go, as Lou mentioned about the feedback, there will be another QR code at the end of the session, and we will remind you again then, but to get your CPD points and certificate for the day, you do need to get that QR code and fill it. Oh, it's gone again, I think. Can you hear me? I think my mic's gone again. Oh, that's the roaming mic, and this guy can't pick it up. I've had instructions. Oh, we're back on. Thank you, Dee.
Might be running out of batteries. Let's hope not. Just shout.
Yeah, you'll be wanting my loud voice, won't you? So yes, if you want your CPD points, then at the end there's another QR code, and pick that up then for the feedback. There might be some people coming during the day, so we'll just let them enter when they're ready. So we'll go quickly to the aims. Let's get to why we're here. The aims of today are what is trauma. So Dee will be talking you through what is trauma. And you might have heard of ACEs, adverse childhood experience. We'll be looking at what those are. We'll also look to see how ACEs adverse childhood experiences can lead to multiple disadvantages. Go on, Dee. Do I need to keep pressing the button? Do I press it off? I might be pressing it off. Sorry about that. We'll look at the principles of trauma-informed practice and using trauma-informed practice in your workplaces and how you can do that. So I will now hand back to Dee, I think, who's the expert with the mic.
Hi everybody. If the mic goes off again, please. Right, so as you'll see, there is a QR code up on the slide there. So because it's such a big group, unfortunately, we can't answer questions on the way through, or we might miss questions. So if you would like to ask a question, I would say if you scan that QR code with your phone now, while we're setting up the mics, this gives us a good chance to do it now. And then if there's anything that you'd like to ask us throughout the training, if you just put it on Slido, and then when we are at the end of this presentation, we can then answer the questions then. Righto. So mic round 2. It's quite funny, I was so anxious about talking to so many people, and now, like, literally, so many things have gone wrong in the first couple of minutes that my anxiety has left me. So I'm very glad about this. So as I was saying, if anyone has got any questions that they want to ask us, please use Slido that's up there, write it on a post-it note, or just save it in your head for later, and we will get to a point nearer the end where you'll be able to ask us questions.